and gentlemen. Welcome to Seed Science and Technology course. My name is Simon Awala, and today I'm going to take you through Unit 8, which is on seed multiplication. By definition, seed multiplication is a process of increasing the quantity of seed of crop varieties for cultivation by farmers. This is how this chapter or this unit is organized. First, we are going to look at the organization of the seed industry. Second, we look at the seed production management practices. And third and final, we will learn about seed harvesting and threshing methods. Starting with subunit 1, which is on organizations of the seed industry. Here we, as students, are expected to appreciate organizational roles of key stakeholders in the seed industry. And the learning outcome is that at the end of this subunit, you are expected to be able to evaluate any given seed system or seed industry. Seed industry is a system that supplies the seed needs of farmers. And as seed is being supplied, it must be of desired variety, and it should be supplied in sufficient quantity and also at the right time. So those three factors are critical in seed production. While seed stakeholder refers to role players in the seed industry. So, for example, researchers, input suppliers, producers, processors, distributors, and farmers. Starting with the seed stakeholders, this is how the stakeholders are organized in the seed industry. We have those that are directly involved. As you can see here, researchers at the apex of this pyramid, so they are the first role players in this industry. Then we have seed growers, we have processors, we have marketing agencies, and the farmers that are consumers. We also have those that are not directly involved. Those plays a supportive function. For example, input suppliers, and quality controllers, and regulatory bodies. So we are now going to look at them one by one. Researchers, they are based at research institutions, which can be public institutions or private institutions. Their functions are to collect crop germplasm and evaluate them, to develop improved varieties that can be used by farmers, perform variety evaluation, establish variety release documents. So these are the documents that have to be produced before a variety is released. For example, variety descriptors, a document that describes a variety, document the information on a variety, their characteristics and their performance capacity. And here, another one is to conduct maintenance breeding. A variety, when it's developed, it needs to be maintained. The researchers are also responsible for producing the seeds that are used for maintaining the variety. And of course, for the production of food, they perform the production of foundation seeds. This is now the seed that is used as in some cases it's called basic seeds, because this is where the other seeds, certified seed is multiplied from. Input suppliers These are mostly private companies that supplies agricultural chemicals, fertilizer, pesticides, fungicides, and inoculants that are used to increase or enhance agricultural production. They also supply machineries and implements for tilling the land and also for processing. And input can be supplied in form of advisory services, for example, extension officials, and also as in form of schemes, hiring schemes, people that are hired either to cultivate the land, your land as a farmer, or to process your product. Seed growers, seed growers can be organized in form of cooperatives or seed companies, and they undertake seed multiplication. These ones are now, and we call them seed growers. These are the ones responsible for growing and multiplying the seeds. They implement quality control measures. So for a seed to be a high quality seed, so there is need for quality assurance. So these the seed growers, on their own right, they have to implement those quality assurance measures as prescribed by the certification agents. And they can also integrate some other activities, like carrying out seed processing, performing seed packaging and labeling, maintaining strategic seed reserve. The seed reserve is storage. They store seeds that can be used in times of dire need. And also they store and they distribute the seeds. Quality control agencies, this can also be public or private institutions. Their functions not necessarily involved in seed multiplication. They don't grow seeds like seed growers, but they perform seed quality assurance exercises via field inspection and laboratory testing. So they conduct these specialized activities. Number 5 is seed processors. Again, this is a shared activity between public and private, so government can do this, or companies, private companies can also do this. They carry out seed processing. This is now from after harvesting. These activities that include threshing, cleaning, grading, packaging, and all that. So they perform packaging and labeling for certification purposes, maintain strategic seed reserve, and they store and distribute. So here is like they can also act in some specialized area as a specialized entity, or they can integrate some functions. And the 6 ones, the seed marketing agency, these are mostly private companies that are involved in the marketing of seed and the planting material. They create awareness among farmers via promotional activities. So if a new variety is released, so the marketing agencies have to play a role to make sure that new variety is known. Or if there is a disease outbreak affecting a certain variety, so again, they have to create awareness among farmers. They distribute seeds in form of transportation from one point to the other. A seed is not always produced where it is consumed. So sometimes it can be produced in one area, and then it can be consumed in an area that is maybe 100 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers away from the production area, so it has to be transported. So the marketing agencies have to do that. So, or they can also do sales at various outlets when seed is delivered. So this marketing can also be, can act as a selling agency to farmers. Now we have farmers themselves who are the consumer of seeds. This is the farming community. They execute mass food production. So after acquiring the seeds, certified seeds, they now have to plant those seeds and then produce food for either for local people or for export or both. And they increase food production. So since there are many, and each farmer is involved each crop farmer is involved in crop production, so they tend to contribute to food production and they ensure food security. The regulatory bodies in this presentation considered as the last role player in the seed multiplication industry. And in most developing countries, it is done by public institutions. This is government, and they are play a role in establishing laws around the seed industries. They provide an enabling environment for all the role players to perform their functions, and they promote industrial growth of the seed industry, and they encourage innovativeness, the players that they want to come up with innovations, so they have to be assisted in one way or another. And also the regulatory framework oversees arbitration in case of disputes, so people have to go back to the laws and see which law should be applied so that people work in harmony. I have outlined the major functions or roles of government in the seed industry. First one is germplasm collection, and the second is conducting research, and the third is production of foundation seeds, and the fourth, seed certification, and the seed regulatory work, the extension, provision of credit facilities where if the government has some funding, it can promote the seed industry growth by providing credit facilities to role players. Seed movement from place to place, because in some countries there might be difficulties in moving seeds, transporting seeds, even from between countries. So the government should facilitate seed trade, and most importantly, training. All those role players, they need to be capacitated, and no one, because they are in the business, no one of them that would be willing every year to train the other, but the government, as the father of everybody, has to capacitate all the players in the seed industry so that it remains intact. In conclusion, seed multiplication is a multi-stakeholder based process, so it involves so many role players, and the stakeholders are interdependent. They are depending on one another. If you remove one, then the others will be affected. The next one might not be able to perform his or her function, and the government should actively play a facilitative role in the seed industry. This is all for this subunit. So next time we will hear about seed production management practices. Thank you very much.